Hi everyone, it's me, TheDomotaku, and today we're talking about Violet Evergarden episode 3 because I missed it, and well, I didn't miss it, I watched it on the day of, but then I kind of missed the episode, this video, because school caught up with me, guys, and it's only been the second week, and I'm already stressing out already. So, let's talk about good things like anime. So, Violet Evergarden episode 3. So, interestingly enough, this episode introduces a new character. For one, we have the school arc, or the school montage of Violet going to doll school to train and, you know, become a professional approved auto doll. So in her studies at school, or her days at school, she meets a new character we get introduced to named Luculia, who is also an aspiring doll studying in the school with her. And essentially, Violet is like a top tier student. She has the best grades and the best typing speed and everything. That's just her soldier ways and whatnot. And essentially, she's good. Except towards the end of the school thing, or the end of the episode, she fails the final test, which is to write a letter to someone, to translate someone's thoughts and feelings and emotions into words. That's the final point of their school and how they graduate and pass. Except Violet cannot do that yet because it's only episode 3 and she hasn't written one letter yet. She hasn't written, when I say written one letter yet, she hasn't written a letter yet at all. She was writing the letter to Luculia's parents or something like that. Yeah, she's writing her parents, yeah, something like that. So essentially, they said that in this episode, her writing is like a report, like a mission report, like a soldier report, and essentially that's the truth. But yeah, it kind of brings the whole reality of the situation of Violet, of how she's limited because she doesn't understand people's feelings yet. I say yet because towards the middle of the episode we learn a little bit more about Luculia, because Luculia and Violet become really good friends in this episode, and essentially, you know, they hang out. Luculia tells her Violet about herself. You know, everyone knows that she's like she's a soldier, because every time someone sees their arms, it's just like yeah, it's like that. That's exactly what happens when everyone sees Violet's arms for the first time. So yeah, they talk, they have a great time, and essentially they tell her that Luculia's parents died due to the war and whatnot. Her brother was a soldier in the war. He got injured, and now he's just, you know, in a world without like a war to fight against. He's just, you know, wasting his way of life, drinking, causing a ruckus and everything. He's throwing his life away. But she really cares about her brother a lot, and she's just really not sure how to deal with him. So essentially, later on, Luculia tries to help Violet, you know, write, because she passes. Mostly, a lot of people in the class pass except Violet and some other random girl, but we don't ever see her. So Luculia tries to help Violet train and pass, or, you know, try to write a letter for one. And essentially, it turns to a reverse where Violet's trying to help Luculia confess her feelings to her brother and just, you know, type them into words and into a letter and whatnot, right? But then Luculia is too embarrassed, or she's too she doesn't know what to say, and she just runs off on her own. So instead, Violet translates her feelings into a letter, and she just goes up to the brother and is like, "Here, this is for you." And essentially, it's a successful letter, and the brother Spencer is heartwarmed and emotional, and he starts crying, and I get emotional too. And essentially what happens is that Luculia, who realizes that her letter got across and it went perfectly, tells the teacher who taught them in the class, and then Violet passes, because why not? And essentially, Violet is now an approved or not approved, but she's a highly, you know, she's a highly trained auto memoir doll, and she's recognized. So her status as an auto memoir doll is pretty good. And you know, these two, I wish. Okay, so here's my thinking, because essentially this character Luculia was only brought in for this episode, and I think that, for one, her character is really good in the sense that she helped out Violet throughout this whole episode. She helped her become a doll and pass her class. So, you know, essentially with a slice of life anime, you have Violet growing through her connections and her relationships with people she meets and whatnot. And I think that Luculia is a good character. Now, being that she is a doll too, we might see her in future episodes. But then if we do not see her in future episodes, and she was just like that one character that was for this episode, then I'm just going to be really upset. Because with this sort of show, you need to have the whole people that helped out Violet, you know, be around, because they're the reasons why Violet is growing. and she was able to finally express someone's thoughts into a letter. Good for her, good for her, good for Violet. She's growing steadily, guys. And in episode 4, oh man, that changes a lot in episode 4. So I'll see you guys in episode 4. I'm going to go be filming it right now. What do you guys think about this episode? Do you guys think Luculia's character was kind of meh? Do you think it's kind of bullshit that Violet passed for writing a letter even though they weren't in school? It's kind of meh, but yeah. What do you guys think about this episode? What do you guys think about the series? And I'll see you guys in episode 4. So see you guys real soon.